Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, October 13th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and technical analysis to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick before I get started, just keep in the back of your mind that if you're liking what you see and you want to take your understanding of technical analysis and charts and how to build consistency to another level, then I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in just a couple of days. So if you're watching on YouTube, then down in the description box, there's a link you can click on. Or if you're watching at my site, claytrader.com, then there's going to be an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So no pressure or anything like that. But like I said, just keep in the back of your mind that I am offering this free live class. And if you're interested and you're liking what you see and hear, then get signed up. First one, ticker symbol PROG. Big movement the past couple of days, and now a bit of a pullback right now, which isn't the end of the world or anything like that. In fact, and some people, and I would agree with them, would argue that, this pullback here is actually a good thing, because at least now you don't have to worry about the big question of, am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out? Those worries would be alleviated because the price has started to pull back. Now, to be fair, maybe this is the start of something much bigger to the downside. That's always possible, but that's why risk management and risk control, exist. But like I said, if this is just a temporary pullback before a resume move back upwards, then this could be a very interesting entry area here. So the first level to keep an eye on from a potential pullback point, and the price has already been down there a couple of times, but going to be right down there around the $2.10 mark. You can see this was a former area of resistance over here, and that just goes back to a foundational rule in charts, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see the MACD as support, and that's already behaved right there, and then right there also. So that doesn't mean that 210 is continued going to act as support, but it's at least a valid, logical place to think that could present a bounce point moving forward. And then from more of the overarching standpoint, if you care about more so the broader scope of things, at the end of the day, as long as the price stays up above that purple line there, the 50 period moving average, keyword being moving, so the line is going to keep on moving upwards. So as long as the price stays above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, key level here from the resistance standpoint, going to be that trend line right there, so keep an eye on that. But right now, the biggest dynamic, I would say, is going to be just about, is this a pullback or is this the start of something bigger to the downside? But if it does turn to just be simply a pullback, then this will be a very impressive entry point. Next one, OCGN, and a very nice move here, but along the same kind of talking point. At least now the price has pulled back. So when it comes to, am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from, fear of missing out? Absolutely not, with the pullback here, which makes this a much cleaner, I would say, pattern here. So again, as far as supports are concerned, if you like to play pullbacks, interesting area seems to be right there around $8.60. Or if you're looking to play some sort of breakout, then the level here that seems to be a key level now from the resistance standpoint, going to be that trend line right there. So keep an eye on that, which right now up around, let's just call it $9.50, give or take a little bit. But like PROG, the main dynamic here is the price has pulled back. So you just want to make sure that this is actually a healthy pullback, because maybe this is the start of something bigger. Again, that's why risk management exists. But that's going to be the big kind of initial question moving forward, is just making sure that this is indeed a strong pullback, which right here, right? There was a pullback. And, the people that were buying there, down around that area, they were rewarded very nicely. So this thing has pulled back before, and just because a price starts to go down a little bit, doesn't mean it's the end of the line. So keep that in mind. But like I said, if you do like to play stocks that exhibit momentum and then start to pull back, OCGN definitely should be one on the watch list. Next one, AMC, and this will mean a little bit more to those that have watched past top 10 videos. But if you have, you've heard me talk about 36.25 over and over and over again. And I'm not patting myself on the back here, but I'm definitely patting the tool of technical analysis on the back. Look right where the price essentially bounced today. Right there at 36.25. So that there are some chart players out there, and maybe some people that watched previous top 10 videos that were buying at 36.25, and they've gotten themselves a very nice bounce. So maybe they've scalped it, maybe they're still holding. Obviously, there's no way I know that. But point here being that 36.25 was an area that you would want to see act as support. And once again, it acted as support. So that remains a very key level. And you can see this is not the first time it's bounced from that area before. So it's already happened a couple of times. And then right there was just another time that it played out from that area. Now, if the price does come back down to 36.25 and the price can't hold above there, then the next key level, where no guarantees, but I don't think anybody would be shocked to then see the price head down to the 35.65 mark. But so far, so good. 36.25 not only held as support, but behaved as a little miniature trampoline there and pushed the price back upwards. If the price does continue on upwards, the next key level of resistance you'll want to watch closely is that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see it's already presented some problems right there. Current value of that is right there at 37.60. But overall, nice bounce today. Let's see if the momentum can be built upon this on Wednesday. Next one here, BBIG, very well-known stock. I feel like I've talked about this several times before, kind of scattered around on the top 10. But once again, it has started to come to life again. Big move up, and now that I'm thinking about it, once again, one of the same talking points of there was a lot of momentum that occurred right here, but now the price has pulled back. So for people that don't want to have to worry about, are they chasing the price? Well, once again, you got something that has pulled back, consolidated, and now starting to show some strength in the upwards direction. So from a support standpoint and really main pullback area, that's where that pink line is going to come into play. The very well-known, very famous 200 period moving average, currently valid at, we'll just call it the $6 mark. So keep an eye on $6 if the price does come back downwards and pull back some more. As far as if the price continues on up, then key level of resistance can be right up there at $6.60. And nothing fancy or complicated behind that at all, other than the fact that that's essentially where the momentum started to have some problems today, right around that area. But all in all, any way you look at it, big volume. Now you got the pullback. Now it's just a question of, can this pullback continue on and get more momentum and therefore break through new highs? Let's see what happens with it on Wednesday. Next one, GWH, and I promise, and this will mean a little bit more if you've watched other top 10 videos, but I'm not trying to keep saying the same things over and over again, but some days you just have a bunch of very interesting stocks, but they just all kind of happen to have the same general premise of a setup, and that's what we have once again. So you can see here, so you probably know the words before I said it, big momentum up, and now all of a sudden you have the pullback. So if you like to play pullbacks, if you like to just kind of sit there and say, okay, well, I'm glad I'm not chasing, the price is pulled back, well, this is one that makes it very interesting. So from a pullback perspective, if you want to see the price pull back a bit more, right down there around the $20 mark is an interesting level. But as far as areas of resistance are concerned, just kind of finding a middle ground there, right around 27.50 seems to be the more so accurate level. Now, I realize that the price did get up above there, but other times didn't quite hit that much or, that high up. So just trying to find kind of a middle ground right there at 27.50. But again, nothing has changed from the overall kind of psychology of the play. Big momentum up, now a bit of a pullback. Now it's just a question of, is the price going to return back upwards, get a surge, and then break to highs? Let's see what happens with it. Next one, NTRB. Now this one's a bit different because this pullback is actually now violated down through a key level of support, which was sitting right there at $9.75, which doesn't necessarily, it definitely doesn't guarantee anything because guarantees don't exist. But what I'm trying to get at is, does this mean that for sure guaranteed the price is just going to continue to collapse? No, of course not. But is it at least is it at least a rational question to be saying, is this the sign? Is this a leading indicator of more bearishness to come? That's a more than valid thought process to be having, which in my mind makes this, a very interesting dynamic now moving forward. If the price pulls back some more, it can get down there to right around the $8 and we'll call it 65-cent mark. That could be a very interesting level because not only do you have that former breakout point, but you have around the same general area, the 200 period moving average, that pink line, the 50 period moving average, that purple line. So in other words, down around this general area, it's logical to assume that there's going to be quite a bit of support. Now, maybe the price just goes and flushes right through all that. Again, that's why stop losses, risk management matter and should exist. But as far as, down around this 860-ish, 850-ish mark, is that some sort of just random dart throw of a level? Absolutely not. There's a lot of logic and rationale behind paying attention to that, which again is why charts are a powerful tool. They're helping us as traders avoid random decisions. Because if you're making random decisions, that means you're just gambling, and that's not going to be a long-term strategy. But if you're making rational, logical decisions, yes, that doesn't guarantee success, but at least puts you in a much better spot. So that area down there, again, not a guaranteed area for it to bounce, but it's rational to think that it could. But yeah, as of right now, with the breakdown of that support during the final 30 minutes here, things are definitely looking a little shaky on it. Next one here, down in the world of penny stocks, AHFD, and doing this one just because volume was absolutely insane. I mean, over 2 billion shares here were traded on this thing. Granted, it's not even trading for a penny, but that's still a very respectable amount of volume. And plus, as just from strictly a price action standpoint, very nice upwards trend here that's forming. So if you're somebody that likes to play more so these sub-penny stocks and you're looking for liquidity, looking for volume, I'm not sure you can really find too much to complain with when something's got over 2 billion shares traded. But as far as key levels to watch moving forward in terms of support and resistance, first level to watch from a support standpoint, if there are any sort of pullbacks, looking like going to be right there around 0038. And then if you prefer to have things pull back a bit more than, what that is, defining, then the next interesting area of potential support right there at 003. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, I think this is, a good problem to have. This thing is essentially in blue sky breakout territory. So the downside to that is, well, you can't really look back at past data and say, okay, well, it's got rejected from there. So you're kind of out in the woods with a flashlight a little bit. But the good news is you're in blue sky breakout territory, which is always a good thing too. So overall, though, and then at the end of the day, what matters the most is what the price has already been doing. And that's this right here. As long as this thing keeps on building those higher bases, or if you want to envision those as stair steps. So in other words, as long as these stair steps continue to be constructed in the upwards direction, then from an overarching standpoint, that's by far what matters most. Next one here, FAMI, and honestly, I didn't think I'd be doing this one anytime soon. It seemed like it was just kind of drifting back into oblivion. And then today happened, and the volume returned in very nice fashion. Big move up. Sure, it did pull back here a little bit, but overall, you got to give credit where credit's due, a good, solid movement. But this does bring about the more than valid question of, all right, yeah, great movement today, but is there any sort of true power behind this price movement? Is there any sort of legitimate strength? And I have no idea, because there are no guarantees, but a logical way to define all this would be keep an eye on 35 cents based on the premise of, well, price movements with genuine, true strength, the price is going to progress forward, right? The price is not going to go back to where it was, which, okay, Clay, that's fine. Yeah, you're right. They need to progress forward, but I mean, progress forward, those are just words. Again, this is the powerful part about churches. They allow you to take words, take phrases, and make them very, quantifiable. So when I say make progress, I mean 35 cents. Because if the price were to come down to 35 and then bounce up there, like we just had, if you envision each one of these lows as stair steps, so you have a set of lows there, set of lows there, well, you still have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. Now, if the price comes down here and then just blasts down through there, well, all of a sudden you have the price having gone right back to where it was, which again is not exactly a sign of genuine power. So in my mind, the big level that matters the most as far as I'm concerned is going to be that 35 cent mark. So let's see if the price at minimum can stay above there. Next one here, NRXP. And now this is a tricky, well, this one needs to be on the watch list just because it had just a crazy, crazy day. I mean, you think about it, this thing opened up down here around, let's just call it $7, closed all the way up there at basically $11. This and on basically increasing volume the entire day. Moral of the story, a lot of people are going to be watching this one on Wednesday, but it is tricky in the sense of kind of the exact opposite of a lot of the other stocks we looked at. There has been no pullback. So if you're somebody that's saying, I don't know, I could be chasing, yeah, you very well could be chasing. I mean, buying up around here could very well be chasing the price. To be fair, it might not be. Maybe this is momentum players that are just surfing the momentum and this thing keeps, crushing upwards, and then pullback players are saying, well, I guess I shouldn't have waited for a pullback because I got left behind. But therein lies, the tricky part of the market. But the point here being is if you do want to play a pullback, if you do like to play pullbacks, then really the first potential key pullback and bounce point would be right there at the $10 mark. If you want to be a little bit more high maintenance about your requirements, then yeah, keeping an eye on that pink line down there around the $9 mark could make sense too. But that also would require quite a bit of a pullback. As far as resistances are concerned and where some of these next potential battlegrounds are at, next main battleground going to be right up here around $11.50. So keep an eye on that. But no doubt about it, monster movement today. So that just brings about the big question of, is this monster movement going to continue over the next couple of days? It's worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, ticker symbol DATS. Done this one several times before. And we once again, we started off strong with all these stocks that were pulling back. And we have another one here that's actually done the opposite. And I'm not saying that in a good or bad way, just saying that it's kind of just a different setup with different psychology behind it. And this setup revolves around the fact of, well, the breakout has already happened. So if you're looking to play breakouts, well, then in this situation, yeah, you've already missed the breakout because that occurred when it broke through this red line right there. But that now does bring about the more than valid question of, okay, breakout has occurred. The price has continued on up. Is this the start of something much bigger? Now, it may not be, but is it at least a valid? Is it at least a rational question to be asking? It absolutely is. Case in point, let's say the price was still just sitting down around here and going sideways. And I'm sitting here saying, hey, this could be the start of something bigger. You would be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Start of something bigger. Nothing's happened. It's just going sideways. But that's not the case here, right? It has broken out. It does have good volume. So this very well could be the start of a much bigger move higher. So that's why it makes sense to be asking the question, hey, breakout has occurred. How much continuation, how much more momentum is going to show up? Now, if you do like pullbacks, well, then this is one of those situations where that rule states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So a pullback to 1375 could get interesting. As far as next potential areas of resistance are concerned, next level going to be right there at, we'll call it 1650. And then if this thing just gets really crazy, next potential area going to be right up there around the $18 mark. But no doubt about it, big breakout on big volume. Now it's just a question of, is there more momentum to come? Let's see. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and if you want to learn more about this tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to help build consistency, make good decisions as a trader, then like I said, want to personally invite you to get signed up for the class. It'll be this Thursday, October 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So just keep that in mind. And if, again, down in the description box on YouTube, or just click on an area right on the webpage if you're watching this at my site. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make videos like this, then please hit that like button and leave in a basic comment below, even if it's just any sort of comment, numbers, a ticker symbol that you traded today, or maybe that you're watching tomorrow, a smiley face. But hitting the like button, leaving a basic comment communicates to me that you enjoy these videos. As long as I know people are enjoying them, and then I know that it's worth the time and effort that's required to put these videos together. So your communication in that regard is very much so appreciated. But again, if you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency, then definitely get signed up for the class. Everybody take care. Have a good one.